Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Really, I would like to welcome Dr. Khalid. Welcome again, Dr. Khalid.
Thank you very much.
And really, I would like to directly to ask you about what the challenges that's facing the people in Al-Aqsa Masjid, really, Masjid Al-Aqsa.
Yes.
And really, there is a lot of difficulties and challenges that, facing those people who live there,
Yes.
like poverty, like, kind of brainwashing, and,
Yes.
let us talk about this issue specifically.
Yes.
Dive deeply.
The issue of Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa and today Bayt al-Maqdis and Palestine, actually it focuses on not the idea of that people are living in poverty or in difficult times. It is more that they are living in occupation.
Mm-hmm.
There are worse Muslims who are living in Gaza, in Syria, in Yemen, in Myanmar, in eastern Turkestan. The problem of what is happening in Al-Aqsa today and in Bayt al-Maqdis is that it is under occupation. And it is a shame on this Ummah that is 2 billion people, that their first Qibla is under occupation today. This is what is the worst thing that is happening, that it is occupation. It is not just the occupation of the land, it is also occupation of the mind. And this is more dangerous than the occupation of the land.
If someone asks you, for example, what we should do for
Yes.
the people who live there, what
Yes.
we should do for the buildings, what we should do for the ideology.
Yes.
This is
yes. Very good, very good question. I think what we need to think is not in terms of what we need to do for the Muslims there, what we need to do for ourselves. This is our responsibility. So I cannot leave it to the people there. This is like today, the Kaaba. If God forbids, the Kaaba is under direct American occupation, and to go to the Kaaba, you have to get visa from the Americans, and to make tawaf around the Kaaba, they are shooting at you while you are making tawaf or while you are praying. The Muslims all over the world will not stay for 1 minute silent, and they will go and liberate the Kaaba.
Absolutely.
There is only 2 mosques mentioned in the Quran by name, Al-Masjid Al-Haram and Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa. Al-Aqsa in Bayt al-Maqdis is not a Palestinian property. It does not belong to the Palestinians. It belongs to every single Muslims around the world. If I say to you today that the Kaaba is only for the Saudis, would any Muslim accept? Every Muslim would reject.
It will not be accepted.
Exactly in the same way, the Al-Aqsa is not for Palestinians. It is the responsibility of every Muslim. But the Muslims have bought in the Zionist propaganda. And they say, well, the Palestinians sold their land. The reason I'm mentioning this is because this is Zionist propaganda. 80% of Palestine was occupied in 1948 at gunpoint. And the rest of it, the other 20%, was occupied at gunpoint in 1967. People did not sell their land, but in order to get rid of the guilt of your conscience, people, I have not done anything, let me put the blame on someone else. People say, use the Zionist propaganda and say that the Palestinians sold their land just to get out of that guilt. But this is nonsense. This is yours, even if the Palestinians sold their land. This is your first Qibla.
To have kind of satisfied their conscience.
Yes.
I want to be relaxed, and it is their problem. It is not my problem.
Yes,
this is really.
And unfortunately, politicians have helped in this, in narrowing it from being a Muslim issue years ago that relates to every Muslim around the world, to an Arab-Israeli conflict, to a Palestinian-Israeli, to a Fatah-Hamas conflict. This is not like this. Before Fatah and Hamas, and before anything, any resistance was on the ground, this Aqsa is the Muslim property for thousands of years. When we say Al-Aqsa, what is important to bear in mind, that this was the Qibla of Rasulullah and the early Muslims, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, from day one when he became prophet. He became a continuation of prophethood who used to pray towards Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa. So Rasulullah, from after Iqra, Ya ayyuha al-muzammil, قُمِ اللَّيْلَ إِلَّا قَلِيلًا, it is a command to make salah. In Surah Iqra, أَرَأَيْتَ الَّذِي يَنْهَى عَبْدًا إِذَا صَلَّى, it's talking about prayer and salah within the first context. And then for 10 years he used to pray towards Bayt al-Maqdis. Then the night journey, Allah took Rasulullah. If Allah wanted, he could have taken Rasulullah directly to the heavens. He took him first to Bayt al-Maqdis.
To pay our attention.
Yes,
to this place.
To link it forever in the heart of the Muslims. And then ascended to the beyond the heavens.
The sky.
And then he got a gift of salah.
And Doctor, we have to zoom and focus on this issue. And I read, the article talks about, with my full respect to all the people surround Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa, it says, I will not say the proportional, how many percent, like 30 or 40 or 60. No. But there is a lot of people young people,
Yes.
taking drugs,
Yes.
cocaine.
Yes.
A lot of people leaving schools,
Yes. This is true.
uneducated people,
Yes. Yes.
and illiteracy people.
Yes.
There. Some of them they have lost their identity.
Yes.
This is really is it correct or not? And
Yes.
we should dive deeply and
Yes,
say
yes.
anything frankly
Yes.
and with
Yes,
more
yes.
accuracy,
Yes,
because
yes.
we have a special with this issue.
Actually, all of this is on the ground, and it is not something that you can ignore.
Hide
It is something very obvious, and this is part of the Zionist fight on the identity, the Muslim identity of the city.
Someone will tell you this is conspiracy theory.
No, I will explain. Drugs in every country are banned, contrabands. They're not allowed.
Maybe
to be
expensive. Maybe they're cheap.
Very, very expensive. In the old city, you can get drugs for free. The reason is to make sure, I will talk about a few examples. This is the idea of drugs, but to me, worse than this is the idea of the occupation of the mind, and I will give a specific example. The mayor of Jerusalem, the Zionist mayor, this is about 20 years ago, it was Ehud Olmert, who then became the prime minister. After that, he, in order to get people to move away from Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa, took the best academic works written by Zionist scholars, translated them to Arabic, to say that Al-Aqsa is not here, Al-Aqsa is somewhere else, and distributed this book free of charge on the people in the old city. What is he trying to? What is
Not
he
just
trying to
this Prime Minister, Israeli Prime
Yes,
Minister.
yes.
There is a president in Arab countries. He said we can build another mosque.
Yes, yes,
President Gaddafi said we have to build another mosque, and why Palestine and Israel are fighting each other?
Fighting over
this is a ridiculous issue.
Yes. So currently even Sisi has made similar remarks. The idea is to cut people away from what makes their identity strong. Even those, for example, last Ramadan, when the problem started and the attack on Al-Aqsa Mosque, many young people who were on drugs, who were drinking, when
Leaving
they saw
school.
leaving, and the part of leaving school, let me comment on that. Actually, Israel does not allow the functioning of Arabic schools, Arabic Muslim schools in the old city. And it does not allow the building of any new schools, like it does not allow any building of new houses. It constantly confiscates people's houses, destroys them, it constantly threatens people with a lot of other things. So they're making life hell for anyone living in that area.
But obstacles and difficulties.
Yes, to make sure that it is easy to go the wrong way, very difficult to keep steadfast on your land. But the point that we were trying to make earlier is that they are trying to take people away from this identity with every single mean. They do not leave any mean available except they try to implement it and push people away from what makes their identity strong. And what makes people identity strong is Al-Aqsa Mosque. Al-Aqsa Mosque, even for Christians, it became the symbol, and they came and they stood with the Muslims while they were defending Al-Aqsa. So the Christian Palestinians, they see this part of our also identity.
Exactly.
Not only this, Muslims, who I mentioned just earlier, who were on drugs and other things, the moment they saw an attack on their identity, they left all of this. Some of them never prayed in their life. Last Ramadan, because of the attack on Al-Aqsa,
dignity. Exactly.
Yes, the moment they saw this, they left all of this behind and they came running and fighting.
This is really, I feel proud because Palestinian people and all the Muslims in all over the world and all the humans really, they have dignity with their religion because it is really, they have honor and kind of dignity. Dr. Khalid, really, wallah, it is my appreciation.
It is my pleasure.
Inshallah, next time we'll record another episode, inshallah. And really, I would like to say through you, and the Palestinian case is the case of all of us.
Yes.
And really, this issue for all of us. Yes. And I mentioned the hadith of our Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing of Allah upon him, when he said, the believers in their mutual kindness, compassion, and sympathy are like just one body.
Yes.
When one of them suffer, the whole body responds to it with wakeful, full and fevers.
Yes.
And really, I would like to tell you, all of us behind you, we support you, we stood with you, and
Right.
we stood you and we stand with you now.
Yes.
And before, you know, as you know, Iraqis people, we stood with you and we are standing with you, and we will still stand with you all the time. And this is and all the Ummah, inshallah, not just the Iraqis people, but you know, as an Iraqi saying that, but you know, all of the Ummah saying that. Thank you very much, inshallah, Dr. And Assalamu alaikum.
Inshallah, we meet in Al-Aqsa when it's free from occupation and these boundaries are gone.
Inshallah.
And inshallah, we meet again, inshallah.
Inshallah. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.